I'm AP Townley, and this is Roleplay Culture. Grab all the beef and jerky you can, Bilbo. We're going on an adventure.
Here, Mr. Bilbo, where are you off to?
I'm going on an adventure!
Everyone who plays D&D loves it when a character walks into the monster's lair and finds a big old pile of treasure and gold. Which kind of sucks because we don't really have a whole lot to spend it on anymore, do we? The days of walking into the shop with 100,000 gold pieces and buying the holy hand grenade of Antioch are past us. Magic items are more like heirlooms, not something that you'll find on some peasant's shop shelf. So what the heck are we going to do with all this money? Do we even need this much gold? Are there non-magic pieces of equipment that we can leverage to do some awesome things? Pieces of gear that just about anyone can get a hold of, but choose to ignore over the pursuit of flashier magic baubles. So here are 5 pieces of equipment available to the average adventurer that you just have to have. Number 1, Mastiff. Man's best friend. There's nothing more comforting than having a loyal hound follow you around. That way, when the goblin minion that you spared from the last dungeon gets stuck in a well, your version of Lassie can let you know. Technically, this is a mount, not on the equipment list, but I group it together as they're all fairly similar. This dog costs 25 gold, so not too much. And they're very versatile, much more so than most people probably pay attention to. They have a speed of 40 feet, so faster than most people. They can carry up to 200 pounds. You can just have a working dog with some saddlebags or a pack saddle that can carry stuff around for you. It has proficiency in the perception skill, and has keen hearing and smell. This will give it advantage on perception checks involving hearing and smell, of course. This could make a good hound dog that can help you for guarding, tracking, hunting. You'll rest easy at night knowing this beast is looking over you. Now, this could be your war dog. This creature has a bite attack that does 1d6 plus 1 damage, but it also makes the target make a DC 11 strength save or be knocked prone. This would give all your melee combatants in your party advantage on their attack rolls, and that's pretty cool. However, our Lassie only has AC of 12 and 5 hit points. We can improve that AC with barding, which is actually where the real money comes into play. If we equipped our war dog with, say, a breastplate, I think it's the best choice while trying to maintain stealth, and with their 14 dex. We increase their AC to 16, but it costs 800 gold. Damn, that's an expensive pooch. Having said that, there are some ethical considerations concerning sending our 5 HP Popper Whopper into battle. Might be something to talk to your DM and the group about, especially during maybe session 0. The DM might not be cool with the thought of not fireballing your group for fear of hitting Toto. And of course, if you have a small-sized character, you can just use this as a mount as originally intended. Just remember, you also have to consider the animal. We'll need food, water, so bookkeeping, depending on your DM, could be a concern. If you want a more detailed animal companion experience, assuming your DM's cool with it, you can check out Stibble's Codex of Companions by Eldermancy. They don't sponsor us. I just thought it was a pretty interesting third-party book. There's a bunch of different animal companions, rules for leveling them up, gear that can go along with them, and abilities that they can use to help you. The dog entry is more expansive if just having a plain old master doesn't do it for you. Dogs are awesome in the real world, and apparently they're awesome in D&D too. Number 2, Manacles. Sooner or later, the adventure your characters go on will require them to do something more than just murdering their way through everything. And while using rope to tie up your kidnapped victim, excuse me, your prisoner, there is a more secure option. These cost only 2 gold, so very cheap, but they weigh like 6 pounds. They're a little heavy, especially if you're a small character with a low carry weight. Once you put these on someone, they need to make either a DC 20 dex save to escape or a DC 20 strength check to break free. There's no skill to use here. You don't get to add your proficiency bonus to it or anything. It's just a very high DC as well. The lock can be picked with Thieves' Tools, the DC 15, so that's a little easier. Not much though. Having an item like this in your repertoire encourages different types of adventurers. or at least different solutions to problems. Bounty hunting, law enforcement, more politically motivated stories. Obviously, the Manacles don't just magically create these types of adventures, but giving them to the characters or the characters seeking them out for themselves can encourage that sort of gameplay. Number 3, ball bearings. I almost didn't put this one on the list because ball bearings come included with the Burglar's pack, which can be part of the Rogue starting gear. But I don't see them used very often. But the one time I can clearly remember them being used was absolutely hilarious. We played in a one-shot where we were all thieves working together to steal some kind of MacGuffin. But each of us had our own personal goals to accomplish, leading us to betray one another. And in moving from one part of the vault to another, we kept running into very inconveniently placed ball bearing traps that had us falling down stairs and over ledges and taking damage, and it was very annoying. Turns out one of the players was sneaking ahead, laying the trap, and then afterwards sneaking back to collect the ball bearings and to do it all over again. In hindsight, it was pretty obvious what was going on, but the player who was doing it was literally the last person we would have ever expected. I mean, they were the embodiment of lawful neutral in real life. We never had a chance. So what do these things do? They take an action to spread over a 10-foot square area. If you move across it, you make a DC 10 dex save or fall prone. You can move through the area at half speed safely if you notice them. Items like this that are low cost, reasonably lightweight, and easily acquired are excellent for ambushes or security. Place some of these around your camp, screw with anyone trying to sneak up on you at night, or lay them out for an ambush, or if you have a moment to prepare before the guards break down the door, do it then. A few momentarily downed enemies can give you the edge you need to win the battle. Caltrips are also very similar in purpose. Number 4, Pride's Silk. Tell me in the comments below if you've actually heard of this item before. You'll find these nice digs in the Critical Role's Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Located in the Dwendalian Empire, Pride's Call is a dwarven community known for cultivating a particularly hardy form of silkworm. These worms weave extremely thin and strong weaves of silk. The skill of the dwarves let them turn this super strong silk into fine and extremely durable clothing. And this clothing has an interesting feature. If you wear the clothing, you get an armor value of 11 plus your dexterity modifier, so basically similar to leather armor. But it doesn't count as armor, so you don't need proficiency in armor to wear it. It's just nice clothes. Of course, it doesn't stack with armor. The armor value will take precedence, but I can think of some situations where having armored underoos can be quite helpful. The first is for wizards and sorcerers. They don't get armor proficiency, so they can wear these silks to give them a little extra protection. Sure, mage armor is better, but it might not always be available. Maybe they just get ambushed at night, don't have time to cast it. Or maybe, particularly for sorcerers, they don't want to use one of their prepared or known spells to have mage armor available at all, and would rather rely on the clothes instead. But just about anyone, except maybe the monk, can benefit from having some backup protection. Donning armor takes time, and getting ambushed in the middle of the night just doesn't leave a lot of time for putting on plate mail. You also might need to go to places where armor just isn't allowed, like political function or royal summons. No breastplates, but nice little clothing that happens to be strong enough to stop a dagger. That just might do. It is, however, very expensive, 500 gold. Armani, eat your heart out. But if you got gold to burn and nothing else to buy, why not? Obviously, it's only if your DM allows something like this out of that world, of course, but I don't see it as being a big deal. There's actually a bunch of cool items in the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, and they're all probably good for this list. Number 5, the Yklwa. If you haven't heard of this weapon, I don't blame you. This is another obscure one, only found in the Tomb of Annihilation Adventure module, as a chosen weapon for the Chultan warriors. And yes, I said weapon. I know it's not technically a piece of equipment, but it's all adventuring gear, really. The weapon is based off the African Zulu spear, the Yklwa. I say based off of, as the spelling and pronunciation guide in D&D Beyond are different from the Yklwa. But the Yklwa is presented as a long-hafted spear, not a short-hafted like the Zulu weapon. Though the text description only has it as 4.5 feet long, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on African tribal weapons. So what makes the Yklwa special? It's a simple weapon, so a bunch of characters will have access to it. It's very cheap, only 1 gold. And it is the only one-handed simple weapon that has a D8 damage die. Not versatile, one-handed. So throw away that spear or mace. Use this instead, assuming your DM allows it, of course. This weapon also has a thrown property, albeit it's not very good. Range is only 10 and 30. Pretty miserable. But at least you have the option. So if you only have a simple weapon proficiency and wanted to have a shield in one hand or just leave it free for spellcasting, then ditch that mace and pick up the Yklwa. Sure, it's only 1 more point of damage on average and a crapping throwing distance, but it's cheaper and lighter than most of the other options. And it's just a little extra damage, doesn't hurt. So there are 5 non-magic items to spend your cash on. It can be essential for adventuring. Honestly, there are a bunch of little pieces of gear that can make this list. We've only just scratched the surface, really. Be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, ring that bell. Tell us in the comments below which pieces of equipment you find essential that you don't see people use. Check out our other videos, and I'll see you in the parlor.